Something is happening right now that is causing concerns over the entire world, not just here in the United States. And what's happening is there's a war, and Israel is involved in this war. Now, I want to address what's about to happen because something is happening right now, and it's causing the White House to absolutely panic. So here's what's going on. I want to read you this. This is from Reuters. This is actually from earlier today. It says, Iran warns Israel of regional escalation if aggressions do not stop. Now, what do they mean? Well, Israel is hammering Gaza. They are hammering Gaza, and now Iran is thinking about getting involved because they are saying they are warning Israel of regional escalation if aggressions do not stop. Now, this is pretty concerning, and look what Bloomberg put out this morning. It says U.S. pushes bid to avert wider Israel war after Iran warning. It says U.S. asks Qatar and China to intercede and limit spillover. Regional allies hope to nix involvement of Iran-backed proxies. Now, I've told you this before, and I'll tell it to you again. If Iran gets involved, the problem is the U.S. is then going to get involved again, even more. And this is really going to hurt the American people. Now, we know when we go up against a country that has oil, that is the one thing that we want. That is the one thing that the United States needs. And the problem is, if we place sanctions on another country, that has oil, like we did with Russia, guess what's going to happen to gas prices? They're going to go up. Well, look at this. This is the U.S. not backing down. This is from Politico. It says, Lindsey Graham to Iran, if you escalate the war, we're coming for you. That sounds like a little bit of a threat, right? Well, let's read into this. It says right here, if Hezbollah, which is a proxy of Iran, launches a massive attack on Israel, I would consider that a threat to the state of Israel, existential in nature, Graham said Sunday during an interview on NBC's Meet the Press. Goes on to say, I will introduce a resolution in the United States Senate to allow military action by the United States in conjunction with Israel to knock Iran out of the oil business. He said, Iran, if you escalate this war, we're coming for you. That sounds like the United States and the American people are about to pay more for something that we absolutely need. We need oil to run businesses, for transportation, for cars, for just everything, right? Utilities. We need this. Well, here's what I can tell you. President Biden is still planning to back Israel. And at this time, according to Reuters, says President Biden to push Israel and Ukraine aid package well over $2 billion just this week. President Biden isn't stepping down. And according to multiple officials, they say that they are going to provide something to Israel and something for Ukraine. Those two are going to be combined. Now, the hard part right now is that there is no House of Representative. There is a House of Representatives, but there's no speaker, which is causing a crisis. Now, the biggest issue right now is that Republicans cannot agree as to which Republican representative should be the next Speaker of the House. Well, this is the problem, because look at this. According to The Hill, it says right here that if the GOP can't elect a speaker, then a deal will have to be done with Democrats. That's not what Republicans want. That is something that Democrats absolutely want, because now Republicans will have to go to them, ask them for their help. And in return, in order for Democrats to jump on board with a certain Republican to be the speaker, there's going to have to be concessions made. As to what those concessions are going to look like, we don't know. But according to the House Democratic leader, there are informal decisions underway on the speakership mess. And he goes in to say, there are informal conversations that have been underway. When we get back to Washington tomorrow, which is Monday, October 16th, it's important to begin to formalize those discussions. Now, keep in mind, these are just the initial discussions. We got a long ways to go, all right? But the big thing is, if Iran steps forward, because Israel's not backing down and Israel's still wanting to put troops on the ground, If this happens and they unleash this massive ground attack, Iran's going to step forward. And when Iran steps forward, the United States is going to step forward. Guess what's going to happen? Everybody is going to escalate this situation even further. According to some officials, they are worried that this will turn into a world war or the start of a world war. Now, all this is happening right now, right before our eyes. We're seeing these attacks. We're seeing this stuff through mainstream media, through social media. It is happening. Here's my advice to you. Be ready. I can't tell you enough that there's going to be relief from the United States government. The United States government doesn't have money. We do not have the ability to pass additional stimulus. So if you think that's coming in the near future, you're wrong. It's not coming. The House of Representatives is not going to have the support to do it. The Senate is not going to have the 60 votes to pass any type of legislation like that. It's going to be a very difficult battle. It's going to be a very difficult, 3 to 6 months, potentially even longer. So be ready. Next thing I can tell you is that right now there are more and more elderly people that are, coming out of retirement, getting jobs simply because they are worried about what's to come. They are trying to put more money in the bank because they've been spending too much simply because their Social Security benefits do not cover exactly what they need. Well, guess what? I don't think it's going to get any better. So, my advice to you, be ready. Continue to listen to the news, continue to read different articles, understand what's happening not just here in the United States, but abroad as well. Because right now there's just as many problems outside the United States as within. But being that this is a war between Israel and Gaza or Hamas, the problem is everybody's showing you what's happening in Israel. The problem is the issues that we continue to face here in the United States are actually being overlooked. And I've told you this before, Congress is not great at doing this. The new problem comes in, and it's kind of like that shiny object syndrome. They see, okay, this is where we need to address this problem. We need to send money and relief, and we need to talk about this every time we're in the on the news, when essentially that's not necessarily the case. But again, without a speaker, without any really, somebody stepping forward in the House of Representatives, it might be a long next few months. So just understand it's happening. I will keep you updated on everything that's going on. The one thing I can tell you is that right now there's so many problems, Congress doesn't know which one to deal with first. If you ask the people in the Senate, they say the Senate, they can't really do much as far as the House of Representatives. They don't care what they say. They don't care what their opinion is or what they want to do. Okay, they're two different chambers. And this is the reason why we're having this discussion. So, as we get more information as to what is going on, how you could potentially be impacted, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I ask is if you spend just 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, click that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next one.